Well, hello, it's me again. And I was going over the list I've got written down on my March planting. And, well, no, not my March, but my February. Because, we're at the end of February already. And things you should have had planted outside if you're going to plant them. I mean, you still can plant them next month, but you could have planted them this month, which is leeks, peas, potatoes, beets, carrots, collard greens, kale. You can do kale inside or out. Kohlrabi, lettuce, mustard greens, scallions, spinach, Swiss chard, turnips, and radish. All could have been put outside this month in March. Things they suggest you start indoors is eggplants, peppers, and you can start kale in or out. It doesn't matter. Now your crowns, you can plant like asparagus, horseradish, rhubarb, which I never cared too much for rhubarb, so I'll never plant that. Transplant, you can transplant broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, Chinese cabbage, kohlrabi, tomato, late February through April 1st. And I'm into March now, so I've been looking at my March planting list. And we've got a pretty long, we've got like 26, 27 things you can plant in March. And it's all outdoors. Around March, they say March 15th until, but our last frost date, I think, has already happened this year. Because I've looked on the extended forecast and it's not going to be below, it's not even going to be 39 at night, maybe but 2 nights spaced out. The rest of the time it's going to be in the 40s, 50s, 60s at night, right on through the 14th of March. And I usually plant during that second week because usually when you put seeds out, even if it does frost, it's not going to hurt them. If we get one light frost, it's not going to hurt the seeds because they probably haven't germinated yet and they're not going to be above ground for a freeze to hurt them. But anyway, the stuff that it says here that you can start planting in like around March 15th, outdoors from seeds, is beets, carrots, collard greens, kale, kohlrabi, lettuce, which I've already got my lettuce coming up, which you could have planted it this month in February. I've already got my loose leaf lettuce coming up. Mustard greens, scallions, spinach, Swiss chard, turnips, radish, bush beans, lima beans, pole beans, cantaloupe, watermelon, corn, cucumbers, squash, zucchini, and pumpkin. But they've already got the tomatoes, the zucchini, the peppers, the watermelon, all that stuff in the nurseries at the stores for sale. And it says to transplant tomatoes until April 1st, cucumbers March 15th through June. But you know what? They've already got them started, ready to plant. So I'm going to put a few seed down. I'm not going to use all my seed, but I'll plant some. And hey, if they sprout and we get a freeze by accident, I'll just replant a couple of seeds, that's all. And I planted some corn in my pea pot, or my pea my pea garden, because I know it's good to plant corn with your peas, especially if they're vining peas, so they can travel up the corn stalks. It helps them out. So I'm trying that this year and see if that won't help my peas out. But you can plant corn, cucumber, squash, zucchini, pumpkin in March. Transplants until April is tomatoes. You can put cucumbers out. It says March 15th because usually we get our last freeze around the 12th to 13th, but we're not getting one this year. So there's a lot that you can plant outside in the month of March. A lot. You got almost 30. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 22 different things not counting your transplants. And of course, you know, you could have planted them this month too, if you haven't already done that. And I bought a sweet potato. I've got it in water. I'm going to try to grow some slips this year, but I don't know. I bought it at the store at the produce section, because everywhere online that you could order a sweet potato to, you know, to start slips from, you had to buy like 50 of them. I don't need 50 sweet potatoes, y'all. So I passed. I said, I'll try one out of the store. If it don't work, I just won't plant sweet potatoes this year, unless I can find one somewhere else that I can just buy 1 or 2 potatoes. So that's where I'm at. But, you know, I told you I had did some cuttings, and I've got them right there in these small pots. 5 cuttings of my tree collards, and I'm getting ready to transplant those and put them in these buckets, because I've got 5 buckets I can transplant them into. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. The soil's already ready. I don't have to do anything but dig the hole, because, you know, I built all that last year. If I can get a hole big enough to put that big one there, I'd like to put that one right here. I don't know if I'll be able to get it out without all of it coming apart, but oh, that's not what I expected to happen, but oh well. But it was growing. It started to root, so I'm putting it right there. I think it'll do better since it'll be outside and not inside. And I've got regular collards in a couple of these buckets that I moved from the raised bed over there. Oh, let's see, let's put this one over here. Oh, that one come out a lot better. It's got roots all the way down to, oh heck. It fell apart. But it's got roots. But I think they'll like the morning sun and the afternoon shade. Let's see if we can get this one over here on the other side. Yeah, I started these buckets last year, and they're right ready to plant in now. Oh, it just crumbles. I hope it doesn't go into shock. But if all of these don't make it, I'm sure I can maybe get another cutting or 2 off of some of these other ones. I don't know if they've all survived or not. This little thing wants to. Well, I guess you gotta take that out first. If you put it on there like it's supposed to go, it might stay, hadn't it? And I got this one. I think I'll put that one up here. But you know what? I think I got holy basil coming up in here. I put seeds in there last fall. And I don't know if that's holy basil coming up or not. So I better not dig around it. I'll wait and see. Because it'll be the first time I've had holy basil, if it survives. And I'm going to put this one over here. These would have been great buckets for tomato plants. And it's got roots all down to the bottom. But I'm going to get some of my compost tea and water them in. And I don't know about my banana tree. It tried to come back up. And then we had another freeze on it and it killed it. Well, it killed the green that was coming up. But I'm hoping the roots are still alive. Don't need much water because the ground, that dirt is already pretty moist. That's the advantage of having a water reservoir in the bottom for things that need a lot of water. I had already watered my raised bed with this compost tea from these buckets, so I had them pretty much emptied. And I can use these pots to put something else in. Oh, I still got another one right there. Maybe I can stick it in with one of the collards. I really wanted it there. I wonder if it would hurt to plant it with the basil. Maybe I can try that. Plant it with the basil. It might help the basil. I've always had regular basil, but not holy basil. And they say that the holy basil is the best. Oh, look at that. That just come all apart. Oh well, it'll grow. And that basil will come up if that's what that is. I'll just stack the little pots. Take these little spouts and they'll stack even better. Let's see if I've got any water or compost tea in any more of these buckets that I haven't poured out yet. Don't need much. Because the dirt was already wet. And I might put a tree collard right here in that big blue pot. It's got two regular collards in it already. That blue one right there. If I can get my finger on it, right there. It's got two small collards growing in it. But I could put a tree collard right in the middle. I think that would work too. But I want to show you. I did plant. I got my celery right there. I put a row in the middle. I've got parsnips planted on the right. And I haven't put seed on the left yet. Haven't decided what I'm going to put in there yet. But the celery's looking good. I planted it yesterday sometime. And I watered it in a little bit. And I cheated. I've already put a couple of squash seeds in there. I've got butterfly peas here because I want to see the beautiful flowers it has. I've got lavender in that little one already. I've seeds. I've put yellow squash there. And I put zucchini in this one and then zucchini in that one. They haven't had time to come up yet. And I've put beets, red beets and yellow beets, and I put turnips in this one. They haven't had time to germinate and come up yet. So we'll see how they do. Because right now they're getting afternoon, a little bit of shade in the afternoon, but they're getting full morning sun till about noon, which I figured would help. And then if people buy these other lots and cut down more trees and knock out my shade, I'll just start using shade cloth. That's one good thing that frame is good for. Not only to cover your seeds if you get an unexpected freeze, to protect them or your celery. Also, it will be good to put shade cloth over. Be real easy to drape shade cloth over that frame. And that's the way the other garden bed is too. The other one that I've got that I haven't figured out where I'm going to put it yet. I'd like it right here. But I'm thinking it's too long. I've got to have room to get by through here. I mean, I could put it there and it'd be barely enough room to walk down between them. And I wish that guy would come on out here and move that property stake out the foot that he was talking about. Another foot to the right, which would be added at least another foot or more to my property line into the easement. Because he's going by what those guys told him about the pole down there. That my pole was supposed to line up with theirs. They're all in the easement, but they're not. My property line is where that big rock is with that pole coming up behind it. Because there's my water meter, the black thing behind it. My pole is not in the easement. It's on my property. And I kind of wish they'd come and move that. Maybe they wouldn't have to have a lead wire on it like those yellow things there to hold it straight up if they'd put a new pole down. And then maybe they'd move his at the same time, but I don't know if they'll do that. Because if they wait till more houses are built on each side, all back here, I don't know how they're going to get a truck back here. You want to see a funny sight? Look at my fur baby. You know, I told you Lucky likes to lay on his back. Look at that. He's laying on his back right there. And little Buddy's the opposite. He lays on his stomach and stretches out. And Lucky lays on his back. Isn't that something? Try not to move too fast because I enlarged the picture so you could get a close-up of him. That is so sweet. Let me walk over here. I don't want to bother him. Look at that. He's sound asleep. He's talking again. He hears me. He's talking. Well, see, this one has survived. It's still got green up there. This tree collar, look at that. And I think this other one back here did. It's got a green leaf in the center. I don't know about these other two. And that biggest one there probably survived. I don't know. Part of it did. And I've got these over here. I've got walking stick kale and tree collards, and sometimes I get them confused. I'm not sure if that's the tree collard or the kale. I think that's the kale and this is the tree. I don't know. I've got both. And sometimes I've got both planted in the same bucket. So some leaves may look a little bit different than the other ones, but that's why. One is the walking stick kale and one is the collard. And this almost looks like a collard. But but you know, that last freeze we got killed the leaves basically. But look at that, how it survived. So I think these will come back. It's green right there. The stalk is still green. That's still green. It'll grow unless we get more freezes to where it'll kill it. And I moved my catnip over here. I hope I didn't kill it when I dug it up out of that tote and moved it in this bucket. And I put more onions here. I put the rest of the onions here and here. So I'm not going to be short of onions this year. And little Buddy, Lucky's been trying to figure out how to get into this tote to lay down when I got sticks up in here. Because I got onions planted in this back corner. And that's where that catnip was. He'd get in there and lay on the catnip. So I said, I got to get that catnip out of there. I put it in that little bucket, so the little pot, so he can't lay in that one. So y'all might want to check the forecast because I'm going ahead and I'm putting stuff, whatever I can put out. I want it to get a jump start on growing before March 15th if I can. Holy basil and a tree collard. See that green patch right there? That's what I think is the holy basil. Because I put a bunch of seeds in there in the fall, and nothing ever come up. Or I think one or two little things come up and it died off. Because it was way too late to plant it. But I think that might be the basil coming up. But I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to wait and see. If it's not, I'll pull it out. And I'll replant more seeds in there. Because I'm going to start planting like marigolds and zinnias and other stuff in my pots with tree collards and other stuff, you know, as the companion plant. Because they do ward off insects. I don't remember which one it is, whether it's marigolds or some of the herbs that you can plant around your tomatoes. And it literally keeps the hornworms away, your tomato worms away from your tomatoes. So I'm going to fill my garden full of zinnias, marigolds. I got lavender planted already. And as it comes up, I'll spread it around in a few other pots. I don't want to put it in the ground because I'm afraid it's like peppermint. Once it gets in the ground, it'll take over your whole yard. So I suggest you put anything like that in a pot. That way you can move it around, put a tray under it if you got drain holes in the bottom, because the roots will go through the pot. Put a tray in the bottom to catch your water, and it also will stop the roots from going in the ground. Or if you put it in a small pot and put it in another big pot, at least that way it's not going to grow in the ground. You'll have roots in the ground, and it'll grow that way and spread. Look at that. Lucky's a sweetheart. He is. Both of them are. Lucky and little buddy. Put these pots here. No. So I can figure out what I'm going to put in them. And I went and got me another bag of garden soil to mix in with my compost and my native soil here to fill that last raised bed, or the greenhouse raised bed, the one I just filled up. Well, not filled up, the one I put together. I've got to move it out here and find a spot to put it and go ahead and fill it up like I did the other one. And if I don't change my mind, I've reserved my green stalk for bush beans, lima beans. I'm going to grow me some bush beans in there, because I don't want peppers in there again this year. I want to try to rotate stuff. And there is my lettuce. See the lettuce coming up in there? I got little bitty sprouts of lettuce coming up. And that's salad bowl lettuce. It's supposed to grow good here. I don't want to plant any more romaine lettuce because I didn't like it. It got too bitter. And I noticed some of my seeds in here had started coming up too, the eggplant. I noticed I had one, where is it? Oh. One little eggplant sprout right there. Black Beauty eggplant. So if they'll all come up, I'll have at least 7 plants. I got hot peppers here. Geraniums here. I have never got my geraniums to germinate and come up. So I'm trying again this year. This is mixed, the mixed colors. So we're trying. We'll see what happens. But yeah, go ahead and plant out your garden, because I really don't think we're going to get any more freezes this year. Not unless we end up with a Easter when we got snow on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. I'm not going to close it up completely. But since it's not going to be freezing cold, I'm going to close it a little. Just zip it down about halfway, I think will be enough. And I'm going to leave my little mini greenhouses propped open a little bit, because they were getting way too much moisture in there, I think. I mean, I could close them for the night. I just had a little stick put on there and propped it up. This is the one that broke off, or the little thing on the end of it that holds it in place broke off. But it'll still hold the lid on. And see where I move my potatoes? They say potatoes like the heat. And my peppers would get too hot. I thought peppers loved heat, so I put them aligned back here one year. And my peppers started burning up because with the heat of the summer that we get and this metal, it got too hot. So I'm going to try my potatoes, see if I can get them to come up here. And I'll watch them, keep an eye on them. If it looks like they're getting too hot, I can always move them, because that's the good thing about having them in these bags. They're real mobile. And, you know, hey, if you can't afford to buy these grow bags, which I think I got them at SD on sale for like $5 for all of them. There's 7 of them. And I paid like $5 for all of them. I said, well, I'm going to try them. I've never tried them before, but they're designed especially for potatoes. So I'm going to try them, see how they do. If I don't like them, I'll never use them again. But you can get like a garden soil bag. They're pretty strong. And you can turn them into grow bags, you know. I did that here in the pea garden a couple of years ago. And those bags lasted for about 3 years. I had to take them out this year because they started splitting on the bottom. And they weren't holding the moisture in. So I pulled them out and just stuck a pot there. Because I'd been using my bags as ground cover to put mulch on. So, there comes little buddy. What do you say about that, little buddy? You think I'm doing right, huh? Yeah, I got a couple more bags of this Miracle Grow garden soil, because it was 3 bags for $10. So I spent about $20 on garden soil. And that's probably all I'm going to use this year. I'll mix a little bit more of that in with some of the other pots I got out here, along with my mulch, my compost out there. And I'm done. I'm not buying anything else for the garden, I don't think. I did buy these potato vines. I've always thought they were pretty. $3.98, and I got 2 in there. So that was like $1.70 each. And I did buy a Celebrity Plus slicer tomato. I got 2 in there. I don't know why I bought it. I've got so many tomato seed. I'm going to be running out my ears with tomato plants pretty soon. But I did buy because I didn't have any. I didn't have any lima bean seeds because I've never planted lima beans before. So I've got some. I got a package in the house that I had that I didn't plant last year. And I bought these 2, so that should be enough to fill up that green stalk tower, I'm thinking. I'm hoping it will anyway. So. Oh. Yeah, I got empty boxes here that I'm going to use to line that raised bed right there when I get it around there where I want it to go. I got 2 big aloe vera plants in the house that need to come outside so they can get some sunshine. But I wanted to show you too. I thought I was going to have to drill a hole, but since this brace comes all the way up to the top from the bottom, I just put this lead wire across the center. That's going to keep the center of it from bowing out, I'm hoping. Because it's got little stakes that you put down through that hole right down there, and it goes in the ground. But I've got so many rocks, I couldn't put them down for that other raised bed. There was too many rocks under it. I couldn't even drive a stake in the ground. So I've still got to drill holes, I think, in the top section of it and run a wire across the top of the other one to keep it from bowing out, because it did start to bow out. It's not exactly level, and some of the dirt started going down to the low side, and it started causing it to bow out a little bit. What do you want, little buddy? Huh? What do you want? I got to take my seeds inside. I don't want to leave them out. If the dew falls on them or anything, they'll get wet. But anyway, I just thought I'd fill you in on what was going on here. Yeah, I've never bought these little potato vines before, but I always thought they were so pretty. And I really shouldn't have bought them this time, but I said, well, there's 2 in that pot. That'll be enough maybe to fill one little basket or something. I was thinking about maybe putting them in a hanging basket. But I don't know if they'll survive here as hot as it gets. Look at that. And there's my potato. The one I'm trying to see if it will sprout some slips for me. I don't know if it will. I don't know where my subscribers got the ones last year from that they sent me. But you know, out of one potato, I had so many slips, I didn't know what to do with them all. And I had like 4 potatoes out here putting out slips at one time. But I said, well, I'll try this one, see what happens. If it don't produce slips, then I just won't have any sweet potatoes, I guess. But that's about it for now. Me, Lucky, and little buddy, I'm going to bid you a good day. So just think about what you're going to plant this year if you haven't already gotten started. And there's Lucky. Look at there. He followed me around here. He's right on the other side of that pot, laying on that big rock. Little buddy right there. See, little buddy's quite a bit bigger than Lucky is. Lucky's not quite a year old yet. He's close, but he's not quite a year. I can't remember the month he showed up here, but he was just a scrawny kitten when he showed up. He had long legs, and I thought he was going to be a great big old tall cat, but he's ending up being kind of a shorter cat than what I thought he was going to be, because he's filled out. Well, anyway, Lucky, little buddy, and I wish you a good day. Have a safe day. Be happy, be safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Love y'all. Bye now.